Money making apps is a pretty hot topic. There's a ton of videos out there talking about how you can make so much money just by simply downloading some apps on your phone and then completing a few simple tasks. And the money that's being promised here is fairly significant. I mean, scrolling through these YouTube videos, we're talking $500, $50 per day, earn $460 doing nothing, $600 nothing. I mean, it sounds a little too good to be true, but there's so many people promoting this whole concept on YouTube that I feel like there at least has to be some money to be made there. So in this video, I want to sit down, clock in for 8 hours straight and see if I can make more money using these apps than I would if I were to spend the same 8 hours working a minimum wage job. I feel like that's a pretty fair comparison and will ultimately tell us if these apps are even worth your time. But first, we have to find out how much money I would make were I to spend the same 8 hours working a minimum wage job in the state of California. The minimum wage here is $13 per hour. When you're in a smaller tax bracket, you're not giving away too much money to the boys over at the IRS. So just to make the math easy, let's say you're getting around $10 per hour after tax. For an 8-hour shift, you should be getting around $80. Again, depending on your tax situation, maybe you're getting $70. Maybe if you have a child, you can use as a tax deduction, you're getting $85. It just kind of depends, but let's just say you're getting between $70 to $85 for an 8-hour shift. Now, were I to, hypothetically speaking, not pay taxes on the money we earn from these apps, commit some good old-fashioned tax fraud, can we at least make the same $70? And if the IRS is watching this, first of all, we were up here in 2019. I'm gonna need you guys to take it down a few notches and not take half of my money this year. And also, that thing I said about tax fraud was a complete joke. I would never commit such thing. I'm way too busy committing insurance fraud. But real talk, if we make $70 from these apps on our phone today for the 8 hours, that basically means that you don't even need to go outside to get a minimum wage job. So it's about to be 9 a.m. I wanna clock in at 9 a.m. and then clock out at 5 p.m. See what I did there? It's a classic 9 to 5 workday. Oh, and one more thing, I didn't want to sit in this chair for 8 hours straight. So I actually went out to IKEA to buy a new chair yesterday. And if you know how IKEA works, I think you can understand how I ended up walking out of there with a whole brand new studio setup. Them Swedish folks sure do know how to sell furniture and make scrumptious 75-cent hot dogs. But I put all of the furniture together and ended up with this cool new setup here. Now back on topic, it's already 9:10. So we do have to get into this video. So let's just dive straight into this and secure that bag. So at this point, I turned on some heat and began by just searching the term make money on the App Store and downloading a bunch of these apps. Just downloaded 12 different apps that I want to test out. A lot of them seem to be survey apps, so I think I'm going to start off with that, try some of these apps, see which survey app is the best, which one seems to be making the most amount of money, and which one's the most legit. So the first app I ended up trying was one called Quick Thoughts, which is an app on which you get paid to take surveys. On these types of apps, the money is coming from either researchers doing a study or companies who are looking for some consumer market insight in order to improve their operations. 40 minutes in and I just made our first 40 cents from a survey. 40 cents in 40 minutes, that's a penny per minute. That's not too hot. I would be much better off so far working a minimum wage job, but we'll see. Maybe this will take a turn. I'm just gonna continue grinding on these different apps. The next app I tried actually pays you to download different apps from the App Store, and then you either have to sign up for a free trial on the app, reach a certain level in the game, get past the tutorial, stuff like that. I guess the goal behind doing this for the companies behind the apps you're downloading is that they hope that you accidentally forget to cancel the free trial, or for apps like the free games, I'm assuming that they hope you end up liking and keeping the game. So it's a pretty effective way of getting people to try out your app. Instead of paying for ads, they're giving the customer acquisition costs straight to the customer, which is kind of interesting. 2 hours in, we've officially earned our first redeemable amount of money. As I said earlier, this Make Money app, you can redeem 5,000 credits for $5. I've been downloading apps, installing apps, and they pay for that. I'm at 5,100 credits. Let that focus real quick. As you can see, 5,100 credits, which means I've officially earned $5.10, and also the 40 cents from that one survey I did. So we're at $5.40. 2 hours in, so I guess we're still maintaining that $2.50 per hour. I eventually basically ran out of apps I could download on the Make Money app, so I proceeded to try one of the paid survey apps. I just got done using this app right here. It's called Eureka. Let me focus that. And I think this is definitely my favorite app thus far. It's a very clean design. It's a survey app and the surveys are pretty quick. They pay pretty well compared to the other apps I've done. The only problem with this app is that it only had 3 surveys, but I completed all 3 and I'm sitting at $1.40 at the moment on this app. Hopefully some more pop up as the day goes on, since I actually enjoyed using this app. Okay, so as you can see, we're now almost halfway through the day. We're about 4 hours deep into this. I haven't gone insane just yet, which is pretty dope, but I feel like right now is a good time to take a quick break and talk about some of the things I've been noticing with the apps I've been using. When it comes to the apps that pay for surveys, it's kind of interesting the way they structure them. They'll kind of throw in weird random questions like which of these animals walks on land, and if you don't choose the right one, they'll actually disqualify you from the survey. It's their way of making sure you're paying attention, so you can't really just sit there and spam random buttons on the survey. A lot of the survey apps also pull the same exact finesse scheme where they give you like $5 for just signing up for their platform, but then you realize that you need to earn at least $20 to actually redeem that money, and you look at how much they're paying for their surveys and they're paying like 20 cents for 30-minute surveys. So it'll take you forever to hit that redeemable amount, and I think what happens in most of these cases is people get the $5, they're hyped, they want to hit the redeemable amount, so they start doing surveys, start grinding and grinding, but they never actually hit the redeemable amount because that will take an insane amount of time. The person eventually gives up and the app walks away with a ton of free data that they then sell, and they don't have to split that money that they earn with the person who actually took the surveys and gave them the data. Not gonna lie, getting real tired of these surveys, but with only 3 hours left to go, I'm just gonna suck it up and continue filling these bad boys out. The most consistent app I found thus far is this one right here. It's called, the one that says Zap Surveys. They don't pay extremely well, but there's a ton of surveys available and I've just been filling them out. In the beginning, I was actually getting frustrated because I wouldn't be getting approved for any of them. The way these things work is that, let's say a solar company wants to know more about how they can attract customers who own a home and make between $75,000 to $100,000 per year. So they put out the survey, but in the beginning they don't tell you what demographic they're looking for, because if they did, everybody would just say they're this demographic to get approved for the survey. So instead they have you take a little quiz to find out what kind of person you are. If you match the demographic that this company is looking for, then they'll give you the survey and you can get paid. If you don't, then you get disapproved and you have to move on. So I went online to do some research and to find out who these companies are looking for the most. Sure enough, I found a Reddit post here talking about the most sought after survey demographics. The top comment says that these companies are looking for people who buy and buy and buy, do more than 50% of the grocery shopping, they're always buying new products, always looking to buy a new car, changes insurance companies for auto and home, does the lawn, buys fertilizers, grow plants, does everything. So they're basically looking for the biggest consumers, people who spend the most amount of money, buy the most products, do the most things, travel, all of that stuff. I started putting that down for the surveys, and sure enough, I started getting approved more and more. And at this point, we are raking in that dough, and by that I mean we're getting like 40 cents per survey. But nonetheless, we are consistently earning money, so I'm just gonna continue doing that. We have about 2 hours and 40 minutes left, so let's bang this out. I'm gonna go ahead and pop the pods back on and get back on the grind. Got 1 more hour to go before we officially clock out and talk about how much we weighed and if this is worth it or not, but I'm still doing the surveys. I'm going to continue doing the surveys for this last hour, just because that's been the most consistent form of income from all these apps. And we are done. I'm already like halfway deep in a survey though, so I'm going to finish this real quick and we're going to check back in, but we're basically done. 5:03 p.m. That is a wrap. We are officially finished. So after 8 hours of straight grinding on these apps, I'm kind of starting to feel like I'm about to lose my mind, but not really. The thing that made it tolerable for me is the fact that I got to catch up on a bunch of podcast episodes that I've been meaning to catch up on.
But isn't it entirely possible? I think it's entirely possible. Jamie, pull up that.
So that was cool, but let's now talk about how much we actually made, and I'm gonna break it down by app. First up, we got 10 cents on Google Opinion Rewards. Then we got an app called Quick Thoughts, which was a survey app, and I earned 40 cents on there. Then we got $1.40 on an app called Eureka. I actually really like this app, but I feel like that's just because it has a good design. Next up, we got an app called Make Money, and we have 5,195 credits on there, which basically translates, if we go to the payouts, since 5,000 credits is $5, then that basically means we're sitting at $5.19. And then finally, we got an app called Zap Surveys. I really clocked in on this one, and we got $10.02. So that brings our total amount earned after 8 hours of grinding to $17.11. Actually, a lot better than I thought. However, the problem is with a lot of these apps, you have to reach a certain amount of credits or dollars on the app in order to cash out. So we can't actually cash out a lot of this money. But realistically, I think you could probably earn around $40 for 8 hours of work on these apps. I just couldn't do that because I was testing out and registering for a bunch of different apps, and that kind of wasted time. But we're in $17.11. Divide that by 8 hours of work, and that comes out to $2.13 per hour. We definitely made a lot less than minimum wage, and from working, I think I've had like 3 or 4 day jobs in my life total. I would much rather do those jobs than be sitting here on my phone running these apps and whatnot. Not to mention that those jobs would pay more even though they were minimum wage. So are these apps worth your time? I personally definitely do not think they are. If you want to go the route of making money online, I feel like you either have to learn a skill that's going to earn you money, such as writing code or graphic design, or you have to start an online business. I think the reason that people are attracted to the concept of these apps is because although it's not much, they do guarantee instant money, whereas with learning a new skill or starting an online business, you're gonna have to put in a lot of work upfront for free just so you can hopefully have a payoff down the line. Honestly, if anyone out there is even considering using these apps, I'm gonna stop you right there, dog. As you guys know, I'm partnered with an app called Webull, which is an app you download on your phone and you can invest into stocks through it. If you open an account with them using the link I put in my description and you put some money into your investment account, you get 2 free stocks worth anywhere from $10 up to $1,400. So there you go, I just saved you 8 hours of your life, or if you win one of the more valuable stocks, maybe even hundreds of hours of your life. Either way though, I feel like this was an interesting and necessary experiment to find out once and for all if these apps are worth it. In my personal opinion, they are definitely not. If you spend like an hour a day instead of using these apps, you try to learn a new skill like writing code or graphic design or starting an online business, you're gonna be much better off. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know how you feel in the comments about this studio setup right here. I'm still gonna be using the original Stu, but I might use this one as an additional one. Let me know if you vibe with it. If you don't, let me know in the comments. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.